I love this shade. This is art. My foot's asleep, my foot's asleep, my foot's asleep. Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. That was super sweet of you. Happy Monday. How are you? What's going on? I hope you are having a spectacular October. I am very excited that it is almost Halloween. Oh my goodness, I feel like this month has flown by. Maybe it's because Mercury's in retrograde. I don't know. Things have been a little uneasy over here. I believe pretty strongly in astrology, but most of the time when people are like, oh, Mercury retrograde, I'm like, I don't know if I believe that noise. But this time around, it's not noise, it's real. I don't know why. I'm extra clumsy, I keep dropping things, I feel like I can't speak straight all the time. But that's not why you came here. Okay, let's talk about my spooky decoration of the day. This one I gotta stand up for. It's quite a large decoration. I'm a little embarrassed. I am not wearing real pants, so just pretend you don't see my little shorts. Today's spooky decoration of the day is a table. She is a witch and she has cute little moon and star charms. She has a little broom. She has a little pumpkin. She is very fun. Bert likes her quite a lot, so that's good. We're glad that she gets along with everybody. And yeah, she's probably 26 years old too. Look at us, two 26-year-old ladies taking on the big city. But that's not what this video is about. You did not click on this video to watch me expose myself for not wearing real pants when I record. No, you clicked on this video because you, like me, have an interest in drugstore makeup that maybe you haven't heard so much about before. Drugstore makeup that people are sleeping on. Drugstore makeup that doesn't get the credit it deserves. I don't know what I'm gonna title the video yet. Those are just 3 of my best ideas. I love talking about drugstore makeup on my channel. I'm a cheap lady. I don't like to spend more than $10 on basically anything. So most of my makeup is in the affordable price range, which is great. We love that. But I do feel like there are quite a few products that I use and love in my everyday life that I discovered on my own and I didn't have recommended to me because I don't hear a lot of people talking about them. And if nothing else, I feel like my purpose here on the internet is to help you save money and to help you realize that you don't need to spend a whole lot of money on makeup to look cute and to have a good time. So if that sounds like a topic that is interesting to you, then I encourage you to please subscribe and keep on watching. It's coming at you right now. Okay, so the first product I'm gonna talk about is a foundation, and I feel like when you think of drugstore foundations that people talk about all the time, you think about the L'Oreal Infallible foundation, you think about the Maybelline Stay Matte foundation, you maybe even think about Revlon Color Stay, but one that I don't hear people talk about that I'm constantly screaming about is the Revlon Candid Glow foundation. I did try their original Candid foundation too, probably like, oh god, that was in like January of 2019. I was so young then, so naive. I didn't even know it was to come. But I tried their original Candid foundation and I did not love it. It did oxidize quite a bit. It also had this horrible like baby powder smell that I just hated so much, but it wasn't awful. It was one of the ones I liked more so at the time. My standards were very different in January 2019. I am much pickier in October of 2020. I have to be. The world is on fire. But the Revlon Candid Glow foundation is hands down my favorite foundation I have ever used, ever. And I've tried quite a few at this point. I have never had a day where this foundation looked bad. And I feel like no matter what, even other foundations I love, you'll occasionally, you know, maybe your skin's a little extra dry. You always have a day where you're just like, oh, I'm having a bad foundation day. I don't have bad foundation days with this foundation. It is fantastic. It literally feels like a serum, but it gives you coverage. It's amazing. It doesn't sink into any fine lines. And usually no matter what with the foundation, I always end up having lines here at the end of the day because I smile so much and I get big lines right here. But with this foundation, I do not get that at all. I'm wearing it today. Doesn't it look lovely? And it gives a good amount of coverage too. It's definitely a light medium coverage, but you can build it up pretty well, but never looks cakey, never looks dry, and I have severely dry skin. And the cooler it's getting outside, the more dry my skin is getting. So this is gonna be my foundation all winter long. It also was my foundation all summer long. It's just good. I don't know what else to say about it, and I don't know why more people aren't constantly screaming about it. I feel like I saw a couple reviews on this when it came out and people liked it, but it was one of those foundations that you didn't see people continue to talk about and continue to list in their description boxes. Whereas if you look at any of my last like 30 videos, I was probably wearing this in it because I love this foundation so much, and it's only like $8 and it has a pretty decent shade range. It absolutely could be extended in the deeper range, but I believe believe they do have 26 shades, and it's not the worst drugstore shade range. Revlon, you could expand, please do, because everybody deserves to be able to enjoy this foundation. But in case you are curious, I do wear the shade 120 Buff, which is a perfect match for me. Does not oxidize at all either, which is like big old thumbs up for that. So Revlon Candid Glow Foundation is a drugstore makeup product that I think you're sleeping on, and I think you ought to wake up. Should I stay in the same category? Should I do all the face products and then do all of the eye products and then do all of the lip products? No, we're gonna mix it up. We're gonna do stuff all over the place because that's more exciting and that's more realistic to real life. Yeah, okay. So next, I need to talk to you about a brow pencil. Here's the deal. I need you to not look at my eyebrows in this video today because I'm having a day with these eyebrows. I hate the way my eyebrows look right now, and that's because I didn't realize that I reached the end of my L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer and I can't get any more out of it. And this is the only brow product that I like. I have tried so many brow products, both from the drugstore and from Sephora. I have yet to find a better brow product than the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer. This was a Jackie Aina recommendation from years ago that once I bought it, I was like, oh my god, this is the best recommendation I've ever received. And of course, because it's Jackie Aina and she doesn't give bad recommendations, but she said this was very similar to the Anastasia Brow Wiz. I have not tried it. I cannot vouch for that, but I trust her and it's just so good. It's the perfect combination of waxy and emollient. So it's not so emollient that you can't get perfect little fine lines and make it look like little fake brow hairs, but it's also not so waxy that you can't get any product out. And that's a very fine line when it comes to brow pencils. Like I said, I've tried a million of them and they're always either too emollient or too waxy, but this one is perfect. And my only gripe with the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer pencil is that you go through it really quick. Like they need to put more product in here because I don't even get a month out of this. I maybe get like 3 weeks out of this. L'Oreal, if you're watching, I want more product. And this is cheap too, so like if you put more product in it, I'll pay like $1 more if you really want me to, although I don't think you really need to charge that much more, because even just comparing it to other brow pencils, like I run out of this way faster than other brow pencils. And it doesn't make any sense either because this NYX micro brow pencil has the same amount of product as this L'Oreal brow pencil, and this one lasted me like 2 full months and this one lasted me 3 weeks. So make it make sense. Maybe you two need to talk to each other and, I don't know, take some notes from NYX, but also don't take too many notes from NYX because I don't like the NYX micro brow pencil. I think it's too emollient. I think the shades run way too warm and I do not like it. Nothing compares to my L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer and I love it so much, and it's the only thing I enjoy doing my brows with. It's the only thing that makes my brows look good. Look at these brows. I spent an obscene amount of time on these brows today. I probably spent like 30 minutes on these brows. I have like 4 different brow pencils in here and I hate the way they look. But with this pencil, I can do my brows in like 2 minutes and they look amazing. Here's a picture of me wearing this brow pencil. Look at how much better my brows look here. But you know what, whatever. I live to see another day. It's fine. I ordered another one. It's coming tomorrow. I'm gonna be okay. But the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer is a drugstore product that I encourage you to check out if you haven't, because it's great. Okay, like I said, we're jumping all over the place. Let's talk about a bronzer. Now you hear the words drugstore and bronzer, and what are you thinking about? Did you say Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer? You probably said Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer because that's the one people are always talking about. Well, let me tell you something. I hate that bronzer. That bronzer did not work for me. That bronzer made my skin look orange. Yes, it blended very well, but it was orange and I can't have that. A bronzer that does not pull orange on me, that is from the drugstore, that is the most beautiful powder bronzer I've ever used, is the Milani Baked Bronzer, and I use the shade Glow. This one, absolutely expand your shade range. 3 shades of bronzer that are all just different undertones of like a light medium skin tone is not good. That absolutely needs to be expanded upon. And they just expanded their blush range too. So like do bronzers next, please. Now I can't say I haven't heard anybody talk about this bronzer because I bought this because Smoky Glow mentioned it in a bronzer declutter and how much she liked it, and I like Smoky Glow a lot, but I don't hear a lot of other people talk about it. So listen to me and Smoky Glow. This is a good bronzer. It's just so beautiful. I'm wearing it today. It never pulls orange. It has such a beautiful undertone. undertone. It's almost a red undertone. And I know that can sound a little scary because you're like, what's the difference between red versus orange? Don't they both look bad on the skin? No, this one looks good on the skin. It's like a mix between a bronzer and a contour tone. It kind of reminds me of the Wet n Wild glowy bronzer in the shade Palm Beach Ready, but that one was too shimmery for me, but they have the same undertones. This one is a glowy bronzer. I mean, you can see it has like little marbled gold in it. It's so beautiful. I want to put it in a picture frame and hang it on the wall, but it doesn't look bad on the skin. And that was the issue I had with the Wet n Wild bronzer, was that it was so shimmery that it just looked like I put a bronze highlight on my cheekbones, which does not look good. But this one doesn't look like highlight at all. Let me see if I can do a little swatch for you. I don't know, maybe I'll just show you my finger. Does that do anything for you? No, it doesn't tell you anything, but it's on my cheeks right now. And I just feel like this is so easy to work with. It's really, really easy to blend out, which I love and is not always a given when it comes to bronzers. I just think Milani really knows what they're doing with this baked formula. Like, I've talked about their blushes a million times. I love the Milani baked blush. This is the most recent shade I've got, and oh my god, she is so beautiful. This is called Coralina. Wait until you see her up close. I'm gonna scream. This is art. This is literally art. I also want to put this in a picture frame and hang it on the wall because it is so beautiful and marbled, and I just want everything to look like this. I don't know what else to say. But like I said, I just really feel like Milani knows what they're doing with this baked formula. They blend so well. They're super pigmented, but also very easy to blend out and difficult to overdo. And I love all of their baked stuff so much. And I feel like you hear about the baked blush a lot, but you don't hear about the baked bronzer a lot. So this is definitely a product that I think is underrated from the drugstore. All right, let's talk about a product that's kind of random, but I am wearing today. Actually, it's the only product in my eyes that is actually drugstore. Everything else on my face is drugstore, but my eyeliner is from B. Taylor Beauty, but it's an indie brand, so it's okay. And I have the Copacetic Cosmetics eyeshadow on, but that's besides the point, because this sweet little flower is from the brand Paparazzi, which is a brand under the CVS Beauty umbrella. So if you look at it, it says it's distributed by CVS. I'm not fully clear on the brand. It just started popping up in CVS's though, and I love their little stamps. So I've previously talked on my channel about the ColourPop stamps and how I was disappointed by them because they do stain quite a bit, and it's very frustrating when it's like 2-3 days later and I still have little blue stains, almost as if it were a Sharpie. And when I saw that Paparazzi had stamps too, I was like, okay, these are a little cheaper than the ColourPop ones. They're $5 versus $8. Also, you can grab them at CVS. That's more accessible for most people. So I gave them a try, and these are phenomenal. They're so much better than the ColourPop ones, you guys. Don't waste your money on the ColourPop ones. These come in lots of different shapes. I got the flower because it was a shape I didn't have yet, but they also have hearts. They also have stars. I think they have moons too. Like, they have all the same ones as the ColourPop ones, except they don't stain. ColourPop, please take notes. Talk to CVS about the formula, because this is fantastic. I'm gonna compare them for you. I've done this on my channel before. I don't care. I want to do it again. Also, with the ColourPop ones, they bleed a lot. Like, they don't apply evenly, which is very frustrating, whereas with the CVS one, the Paparazzi one, they don't bleed at all. So I just put these on. You can already see the ColourPop one is bleeding. How very frustrating for me. Okay, so we're gonna spray some water / setting spray on them. Wow, that is not what I was expecting to happen. Okay, so I was gonna show you how difficult it was to wipe away the ColourPop one versus the other one. Okay, and I can still show that to you. You said the ColourPop one ran immediately and the CVS one stayed put, but also when you go to wipe them away, the CVS one disappeared right away. I don't know what to tell you, man. ColourPop's formula on that really is not doing great for me. But if you were curious about trying the little stamp look, I think it's super trendy right now and it's super fun. It just really amps up all your looks and makes them really fun and sweet. I would recommend checking out these Paparazzi beauty stamps. They actually are double-sided, so they come with a felt tip liner on the other side. It's not a bad felt tip liner. I'm not a fan of felt tip liners myself, but the formula is good. It's kind of a stiff brush, but it feels like it's flexible enough. I don't know, it's hard for me to review this because I don't love felt tip liners, but I do love that it's double-sided, so you're getting, you know, 2 products in one for only $5. I think it's a sweet deal, and I have not heard anybody talk about this Paparazzi brand, so I wanted to let you know about it, and I wanted to let you know to stop sleeping on it because it's really, really good. Alrighty, let's talk about the highlight I'm wearing today. How beautiful beautiful is she? Can you even believe this is a powder highlight? I feel like it looks so wet on my skin. It is the Pixie by Petra Glowy Gossamer Duo, and I have the shade Delicate Dew. It comes with this kind of icy looking almost purple shade and a little bit more of a nude slash like bronzy shade. So when I got this, I knew like this shade on its own seems like it's a little too dark for my skin tone because I'm very pale, but I am wearing just this shade on this side of my face. And on this side, I'm wearing them mixed together, and I kind of prefer them mixed together because you definitely get more of an icy vibe from this icier looking shade. Makes sense, whatever. But mixed together, they give you just a nice, neutral, very glow from within. This is probably my favorite powder highlight I've ever used. I know that's a lot to say. I understand it's a lot, but I usually stay away from powder highlights because I have very dry skin, as I previously mentioned, and it usually draws attention to texture on my skin when I use a powder highlight. Like, I've tried the Maybelline Master Chrome highlight before that everybody rants and raves about, and it's a beautiful highlight, but it makes my skin look so textured. It's unbelievable. This does not draw attention to texture on my skin at all. I mean, you can be the judge. If you think it draws attention to texture, then by all means skip this, but I don't see any texture. Texture who? I've never met her. This is really amazing. I actually got this at TJ Maxx for $6, so if you live near a TJ Maxx and they have it there, definitely get it there. But I also know Pixie is starting to be carried in more CVS's. I know they're carried at Target. I can't believe it took me so long to try this. This is one, okay, I've heard people talk about this before, but not recently and not in a long time. Like, I feel like this is another one that I think Smoky Glow talked about liking a lot, but I don't think I've heard anybody else talk about it. So even if you have heard about this before and you don't feel like this is a slept on drugstore product, whatever, I'll be able to sleep better at night knowing that I told you about this and that I gave you the opportunity to learn how great it is. This full price is kind of expensive. I think this is like $18, which is like, for the drugstore, no thank you, that's too expensive. But like I said, I got it at TJ Maxx for $6, and I know CVS a lot of the time, if you sign up for the rewards program, shout out to my mom. My mom is signed up for their rewards program. She uses her CVS card. Every time she shops, she clips the coupons every week, and she gets amazing deals on beauty products. She's always getting things like almost for free because she waits for the sales and because she uses their coupons, and because sometimes if you spend a certain amount on a certain brand, you'll get extra bucks points, which is free money to spend at CVS on anything. So I definitely recommend signing up for CVS's rewards program because they have a really good program and you can get things for like next to nothing. So this Pixie highlight is absolutely fantastic. I have been loving it nonstop since I got it, and I definitely think it's a product that deserves more hype from the drugstore. Ooh, I feel like this video is gonna be longer than I planned it to be, but here's the deal. I have so many drugstore products that I feel like I don't hear a lot of people talk about, and I just want you to know about them. So okay, let's talk about the NYX Conceal Correct Contour Palette. If you are not a new subscriber of mine, you've probably seen at least 8 other videos of me screaming about this product. It is so good. My only gripe with it is that I wish they sold little refills for the individual shades because you're never gonna finish all of these at once. But that's besides the point because the NYX Conceal Correct Contour palettes are my favorite concealer formula. It is a cream formula. Don't be afraid. Do not be afraid of the cream formula. This is not like Glossier Stretch Concealer in the sense that it's super oily and never dries down. This does dry down to a point and can easily be set with powder. That's why in my Glossier dupes video, I stated that I think this is a dupe for the Stretch Concealer because I think it gives that same sort of appearance, but without being difficult to work with in the sense that you can't set it. Because the Glossier Stretch Concealer, you cannot set the Stretch Concealer. You can try and put as much powder as you want, but she's still popping through with the oils and she's still gonna make your mascara transfer. But with this, I don't have that issue. When I go in and set it with my setting powder, I'm all good to go. There's no transfer. I have the shade Light. The palettes come in light, medium, and deep, and then they each have 6 shades in them. I definitely think that they need to expand it on the deeper end, but I do think as far as the light and medium ones goes, you have a pretty good range because you can't see this shade anymore because I hit pan on it, but it's a really light, bright shade. It's definitely lighter than my skin tone. This one basically matches my skin tone, and then over here you have your golden shade, your yellow shade, your peach shade, and your contour shade. So you can basically customize your perfect concealer shade. So if you need more of a peachy undertone than they gave you, you can mix it with the peach. If you need more of a golden undertone, you can mix it with the gold, you can mix it with a slightly deeper gold. You can really make it work for you, and I love that about it. And I also love the contour shade. This is probably my favorite contour shade that I own. It just works really well, and it's very easy to blend out, so I love that about it. It's just a really nice palette, you know? It's great, and I need them to expand their shade range, and I need them to make refills because those things are not great about it, but the formula is great, and I love it so much. And I think if you were somebody like me who has really dry skin and spent years trying to make liquid concealer work for you, even though liquid concealer was never gonna work, it's okay. Come to the cream concealer side. We're happy to have you. Your under eyes will never look dry again, and you can still get really good coverage. I also have been recently trying out their Gotcha Covered Concealer Stick. I really like this too. It's definitely a little less creamy. Like this one I have to warm up with my fingers quite a bit to get a good blend, but I like having it as an option since like I don't have to buy the whole palette again. But NYX cream concealers are definitely something that is slept on and that I think you should check out. Okay, the last product that I'd like to talk to you about is from Honest Beauty, which yes, is only available at Target or Ulta. I wish they were available at the drugstore. Hopefully soon. I do still want to include it because it is available at Target, which for some people is a drugstore. Also, it's affordable. I usually order mine off Amazon. I'm gonna stop explaining myself and just talk about it. This is the Honest Beauty Cream Blush. This is the shade Coral Obsession. I'm actually wearing it on my lips today because even though it's a blush, it's a cream product. You can wear it on your lips if you want to. Oh no, my foot's asleep, my foot's asleep, my foot's asleep. I love this product so much that I have 2 shades in it. I just showed you the coral shade. Also, I love this shade. I always forget it's broken. Ah, shoot, my foot's asleep. I dropped my blush. This video is going swimmingly. Oh, here it is. Ha, it landed right side up. It landed right side up and everything is fine. I'm just gonna hold it like this for now. I also have this shade called Plum Berry, which I love so much and is the most beautiful fall blush I've ever used and also looks great on the lips. But the Honest Beauty cream blushes I think are absolutely slept on. I used to hear Tati talk about them all the time and that's why I tried it, and the way she used to talk about them was that they worked well over any products, whether it be cream or powder, and I absolutely agree. This product is very difficult to mess up, and as I always say, I have a super heavy hand with blush, so I can usually mess up blush no matter what, but with this one, I can't. It's impossible. If you add too much product, you just keep tapping it with your finger and you can take it away. Look, I'll put it over powder right now. I'm already wearing blush. You're probably going, oh no, what is she doing? She's gonna ruin her makeup. I promise you, I'm not. Because even when you put it over powder, there's something about this blush where it doesn't disturb the product. It's amazing. Look at that. Look how that took me 2 seconds to blend out. Do I look like I'm wearing quite a bit of blush right now? Absolutely, but I don't care because I love blush, and I just think the Honest Beauty cream blushes are such a good way to jump into cream blush. If you were maybe nervous to get into cream blush, I don't know, I feel like a lot of people get scared of cream products. Maybe it's people with oily skin, maybe I'm just not scared of them because I'm so dry. I mean, you can see that didn't add a ton of dew to my cheeks. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell because I already have a glowy blush on underneath, but they're not super dewy in finish, but they're also not matte. They're just very natural looking. Because I have a cream blush from Milk Makeup, their Lip and Cheek in the shade Work. That one is a dewy blush. When I put this on, my cheeks look shiny afterwards. I love that look, but I know that not everybody loves that look. But with the Honest Beauty blushes, they don't look shiny afterwards. They definitely look like a very natural, maybe satiny finish, and they're just so easy to work with, and I just like them so much. They're only like $12. You get a ton of product. I've been using this one for over a year and I haven't hit pan yet, but you can see I got a pretty big indent in there. So obviously they're very well loved. Obviously I bought another shade and I still use it even though it's broken. But yeah, the Honest Beauty cream blushes are definitely a product that I think is slept on from the drugstore / Target. Honest Beauty, please come to Rite Aid. We would love to have you. All right, my little Halloweenies, we have come to the end of the video. Halloweenies are actually hot dogs wrapped in Pillsbury pastry dough to look like mummies. So that is a real thing. I did not make it up. I could show you the catalog. See, look, this is a Pillsbury catalog from literally October 20 25th, 2005. Today is October 25th. Do you think this is all happening from a reason? Do you think I can accidentally go back in time to October 25th, 2005? Do you think it's happening right now? Am I already there? But that's the end of the video. I hope you liked this video. I love talking about drugstore makeup because I feel like I've tried so much of it at this point. I have full videos dedicated to drugstore brands if you want to watch them. I have a best and worst of NYX video. I have a best and worst of e.l.f. video. I have a video talking about what I would buy at the drugstore if I only had $20 to spend. I have drugstore lip products. Like, I have so many videos dedicated to the drugstore, and I just feel like there's never a lack of ideas for more because I feel like I'm constantly discovering new incredible things. I just feel like the beauty industry makes you feel like you have to spend $40 to $50 on a product for it to work well, and that's just not the case. They're lying to you. They want you to spend money, and you don't have to spend that much money when you have brands like Revlon, Milani, NYX, Honest Beauty that are just bringing you these fantastic products at affordable price points. And I hope that you'll check some of these out. Please leave your recommendations for great drugstore products in the comments below. Any category. I'll take any category at all, especially if you have a brow pencil, because that L'Oreal brow pencil just does not last long enough for me. So definitely leave me your recommendations down below. Also, please check out my description box for everything I'm wearing on my face today, as well as every item that I listed in this video, and as well as a ton of Black Lives Matter resources. I have petitions to sign, places to donate, and ways to help protesters. I also have singled out a link to votesaveamerica.com, which is a great resource for voting, whether it's checking your voter registration, checking the restrictions in your area for in-person voting. So definitely check out that link if you live in the United States and are eligible to vote. So I thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!